Welcome to the costume collection of the Public Theater. My name is Luke McDonough. I'm the costume director, and I've been at the Public Theater for 37 years. The first show that I saw in New York when I moved here was in 1975. It was Trelawney of the Wells, and it was up at Lincoln Center, and it was produced by the New York Shakespeare Festival, the Public Theater, and it was the New York debut of Meryl Streep, and she was brand new to town, and this is one of her dresses in that, again, designed by Theone V. Aldridge. And Trelawney was an actress named Mary Beth Hurt, and this was one of her costumes. This is just from a couple summers ago, Merry Wives of Windsor, designed by Didi Ayete and worn by Abena, and in the spectacular closing where everybody changed into party clothes. We did a play called Helen, about Helen of Troy, and Felicia Rashad played a Greek goddess of war, and I'm not going to be able to tell you which one. And she wore this, it's a mesh dress, and it's very heavy. It's very, very heavy. We've done Hamlet a lot at the Public Theater. This was a Colleen Dewhurst in the early 70s at the Delacorte. This is not how it looked in 1972 when they did it, because we reuse things here. And this dress has been reused many, many times. So this cotton here has been replaced. I'm sure it was sheerer then. This sparkle has been added. That was not part of the original. And so it's just very, very different. In the 70s, and this was my first show at the Public Theater ever, Jane Alexander, Sam Waterston did a Hamlet, and Jane Alexander was Gertrude. So these are two of her dresses. Hal George was the designer, and these were two of her dresses. In the 80s, they did a production, and Diane Venora was Hamlet. So this is the doublet that she wore as Hamlet. And Kathleen Widdows was Gertrude. So here's another Gertrude, and it's just like there's purple here, there's purple here, and then you get more of an aubergine purple here. So there's a consistency in thought on this. The second Kevin Kline Hamlet, Dana Ivey was Gertrude, and this was one of her dresses. We did another Hamlet with Liev Schreiber, and Diane Venora was Gertrude. And in this Hamlet, Kevin Kline's second Hamlet, Diane Venora was Ophelia. So Diane Venora has played Hamlet, Ophelia, and Gertrude at the Public Theater. And so Diane Venora wore this as Gertrude. And then in, what year? 2008, Oscar Eustis directed with Michael Stuhlbarg as Hamlet, directed a Hamlet in the Park, and Margaret Collin was Gertrude, and this was one of her costumes. Now, starting here, this is recent. It's Kate Burton in a Cymbeline, so the Cymbeline's queen, and so she wore this off a body or a form. It's hard to see the magnificence of this dress, but it's really incredible. There were also, we've done a couple of Taming of the Shrews. There was one Taming of the Shrew with Meryl Streep and Raul Julia, and I have no idea in the late 70s what happened to those clothes, because we don't seem to have any of them right now. So the ones we do start with was Allison Janney, and it was in 1999. She played Kate, and so it was, so it's a pants outfit with a ruffled skirt that opens down the front and this green top. And then later in the play, she and Petruchio get married, and this is what she wears in that. And this was reused in a Titus Andronicus. And at the end scene in that Titus Andronicus, the director had 3 people come out and cover whoever was on stage in buckets of blood, just heave them on. So this made it into, this was covered in blood every night for that production. And it just washed out. Twelfth Night in 2009 had Anne Hathaway and Audra McDonald, signed by Jane Greenwood. And so Audra McDonald was Livia, so she's in mourning, constant mourning. And so at the beginning, she wears this is sheer, and she wears this over this. And then here, of course, is chorus line. 1975, it moved to Broadway, and this is a full set minus one woman of the finale costume. And they all had, of course, had hats as well. The women got these beaded leotards and vests, and the men got these unitards, and then with them they put on this short jacket. Can go on in this, on and on and on forever in this warehouse with stories. Thank you for coming. Thank you for allowing me to share a little bit of this history with you, and a little bit of my history at the public with you as well. It's been my pleasure. Thank you.